What's up, guys? It's Spiderwolf back for another Tribe 9 video. So today we're going to talk about some new stuff here. We got Director's Leader, which just came out a day ago, so I'm a little bit late to this, but you kind of have to like search through the actual website of Tribe 9 to see, and I think it was also uploaded on the Steam page too. But on Twitter, it took a little while. It took a little longer to finally get to it. But we're going to be talking about this, and XP just started. This the multiplayer. Multiplayer mode for Tribe 9, so we'll talk about that a little bit as well. Also, would greatly appreciate it if you guys could like, comment, subscribe. It would genuinely help me out. It only takes about 2 clicks for at least liking and subscribing. I would really appreciate it. Trying to get to at least 1,000 subscribers, maybe by the end of the year, if possible. Yeah, with that being said though, let's get started, guys. So, as I was talking about earlier, we got XB here. So with XB, you can, it's basically like the XP battles, like with Ichi save, because of the enough in Chapter 1, is basically that both other players. I don't have access to it yet, though, because I'm still in like the midst of Chapter 2, so I'm still getting through it, but later, probably tomorrow or whatever, like the day after this video gets uploaded, or the same day this video gets uploaded maybe, I'll be streaming some more Tribe 9, some other stuff too, so hopefully we'll get Chapter 2 done very soon, so we can try this out. But yeah, basically this is only done, after you do Chapter 2, and it works just as XP, but you're doing it against other players, basically. There's also some pretty cool rewards, and then I think they did mention that, let's see, because there's this other post-tier thing. Yeah, so this is other post-tier as well. But basically, also, it's actually quite, you have a lot of time to do this, too. This is some pretty good rewards, so we'll take a look at it as well. So it's already started, and then it's going on for about a month or so here. And, we got the event here. It's called Play Ball. So pretty cool. Here's the ranks, basically. And the cool thing is that you can obtain wonder boxes by collecting a certain amount of points. So basically, every time you level up, you get these boxes, and then these boxes are going to give you, it's the boxes that can give you skins and some other random stuff. So pretty cool stuff there, right? So another way you can get skins, potentially. But of course, it's tied to ranks and how much you play, right? So then there's, you got bronze, silver, gold, platinum, and extreme. Those are the ranks here. Luckily, it's not super, like FOMO-y. Like, you don't really, need to, do it. Or I should say, it's not super sweaty, I guess, because you don't need to win this. Unless you want to, right? You don't need to. Because the rewards, the way they did it, I think is very, very nice. Where it's so much better than other guys, because with PvP you have to win to get good rewards, and this one they didn't make it too bad like that. Here it's literally, but here it's if you just want more boxes, then you could probably have to win a bit more, right? So yeah, so players who participate in ranked matches will be divided into ranks. Collect a certain amount of rank points to rank up, which makes sense, and then you either increase or decrease based on each match, right? If you win or not. Extreme rank is the highest. For other ranks, other than extreme, players will be further divided from rank 1 to 3. Yeah, because there's different tiers for each one. You got rank 3, rank 2, rank 1 for each tier here. And then you'll get a new medal for each rank you get up to. And then you may get an extreme rank medal for each season if you reach extreme, right? Let's see, anything else? And then you get wonder boxes. So wonder boxes have skins, name card banners, trading materials, like the usual stuff, like the Amazon boxes. And the Amazon boxes is literally what it is, I'm pretty sure. So that's pretty cool there. I don't know if there's any exclusive ones that are specifically to this, but I'm assuming it's just general Amazon boxes. They did mention though here, when you receive a skin that you already own, the skill will be converted into fashion tickets, which you can exchange for a skin you actually want, which is actually pretty cool. I actually didn't know about that, so that makes it really nice. So if you do get dupes in this game for skins, they'll be converted into actual materials, which you can later buy, the more cooler skins that you probably want, right? And then going into the game here real quick. Anyways, this play ball is one I'll show you guys. So, as this says, we have to clear Chapter 2. However, if you participate at least 15 times, you're getting a total of 200 of these summons, which is pretty cool, right? So that's about a little over two singles. Yeah, so literally just play this thing 15 times and you get some summon that, which I think is really, really cool. Definitely do plan on giving it a shot. However, though, if you are interested in this mode, I think they did mention that all the characters are going to be like standard leveled up for you already. I think they're all going to be level 50, and then the matter of the game will be just making sure you have a lot of characters that that you can put on like your team, right? Because it's literally just like XP, right? Like if you did it against Ichinose. Also, sorry about sounding a little like nasally right now. I got like allergies all day today, and this microphone is not helping, to be honest. Because the fabric of this microphone kind of just like disintegrates a little bit. But it is what it is. My new microphone is coming in soon though, so hopefully I won't have to deal with these issues for too long. Anyways, with that being said, let's take into let's look at the director's letter. We have a lot of cool stuff here. So basically, they were like, yeah. So we got Fractal Vice, and then Zero Sensei missions are getting updated, where they're like kind of switching like how you get the rewards and stuff. And then like, okay, yeah, the way it currently is a bit frustrating, so we're gonna change it to where now it's a bit easier to get the missions done, basically. So as of now, we adjusted Zero Mission Sensei Defeat Red Limit series, which is necessary for unlocking character level cap till level 50 to just win 15 battles in Fractal Vice against just random enemies in there. And then with this change, players can unlock level caps without having to defeat the Red Limit series, which I'm not too sure about because I still haven't gotten there yet. Like I said, I'm still pretty behind. And then they said that the announcements were made on official accounts. We were not specific enough. No adjustments will be made to the Red Limit series. So some people thought that the Red Limit series was getting nerfed. No, they're just like making it easier to get the achievements for Zero Sensei. Making those easier to get done. But the overall game mode and stuff here is not being touched, basically, in that regard, which is pretty nice. And then let's see. So yeah, they're like, yeah, this Fractal Vice in the Red Limit series were for players who are just looking for more challenging content, basically, and trying to look for the more challenging content of the game, right? To put it short. So that's pretty cool. And then therefore the team encourages players to view these as a challenge letter from the development team, which ultimately has no significant impact on overall game content, which I think is fine. You don't want to nerf things too much, right? You still want to be fun. And it says, however, when attacking Chapter 1 and Chapter 2, players were required to collect full marks stickers, which we believe might have subconsciously prompted players to consider such actions as a task that must be completed, which I think is fair, right? And then basically, we have overlooked players' needs to fully enhance characters that they own, or coupled with such limitations, players may have made a poor gameplay experience due to being unable to progress smoothly as a result of strong enemies blocking their way. So they're saying sorry about that. And then yada yada yada, basically. So basically, Fractal Vice and then the Red Limit series are not being nerfed. They're the same. It's just that the Zero Sensei missions or achievements basically are being nerfed a little bit to make it a bit easier to get those. So you're not like stuck in this like not being able to like level cap, basically. And then basically they're also mentioning that they're taking feedback as well. And then basically, let's see. So so regarding the time it takes to reach Red Limit series, and then also the process of challenging Fractal Vice being too long, they're gonna try to make it a little bit shorter, so it's not too much of a too long of a grind, right? Because me personally, at least for me personally, I don't really like doing ending content that takes like forever. Like this one gacha game, where like the endgame content, like just you have to like grindy endgame content takes like 40 minutes to like an hour to just like repeatedly grind it. You need to repeatedly grind it. I don't enjoy that personally because it's like too much time to do stuff like that. But it looks like they're like, okay, yeah, we hear you. We're gonna try to make it a little bit shorter, which I'm pretty sure they'll figure out a pretty good way to balance it out where you still have the challenging battles, but also not make it super long or it's really annoying. So that's cool. And then this is all going to be coming out in Chapter 3, because yeah, our next major update is going to be Chapter 3, guys, so that's going to be pretty cool. I don't know if they mentioned when Chapter 3 is going to be coming out, but we'll see as we go down. They did mention something that was going to come out, like XP was tonight, or today, technically, we're not making this. I guess, yeah, technically we're not making this, it was like tonight. And then they did mention that, I think, maybe Chapter 3 is next week, because we're getting something next week, apparently. But it might be something else. Anyways, yeah, they also mentioned there's new settings now with normal weak when adjusting hit stop intensity, and then also break counter effect and some other effects here to basically make the gameplay feel a lot smoother. I have heard that changing the hit stop to I think what was it, weak? I think, or I don't know, switching it to like whatever it wasn't on currently is the play apparently for some characters to make them a lot easier, like specifically the melee characters, which I think is interesting. This is by adjusting hit stop intensity, players will be able to enjoy the game in different tempos. Pick your favorite playing style. Additionally, the game frequently switches between exploration and battle modes, leading to wait times as the game loads. To reduce waiting time, we have shortened the transition time for returning to the exploration screen after battles, for players playing on devices with, so basically just mobile devices, to make the loading not as bad. And then, let's see, so there's lag. So people are saying there's been lag while playing. To be honest, I don't know if I really noticed it when I was playing. Personally, I'm not too sure, but apparently there was, so they basically we're like, yeah, we hear you, so we're going to try to fix it up, which, overall I think is a good thing, right? Let's see, so if players are unable to cancel a character's certain action while fighting with enemies and receive damage to this restriction, there's still room for improvement. Therefore, they're going to add executable time frames to each character to allow them to cancel their actions with evasions or counterattacks, which I think is pretty cool. Basically making it to where whatever move you're doing, besides the ultimate, because the ultimate you are literally vulnerable, basically. But if you're doing like your skills, or your normal attacks, they're going to make it basically a lot easier to either dodge or counterattack while you're doing those, so you don't so you can kind of not get fucked over, right? And also it's more fun that way, right? To be able to cancel moves midway through, and then just counterattack, or I'm a dodge out of the way, kind of thing. I think that's going to be more fun, to be honest. So in this update, executable times have been added to Yo, Miu, allowing them to execute evasions while performing secondary attacks to cancel them out, which I think is very nice. It's going to make them a lot more fun to play with. And then characters that are more difficult, yet are able to yield high rewards, such as Q and Enoki. These adjustments may cause them to lose their exclusive strengths. To allow each character to stand out uniquely, we may consider maintaining the current status quo, and we'll continue to monitor the situation. So basically they're saying that they gave this these executable frames basically in the basically able to cancel out your secondary attacks for only Yo and Miu currently. But they're saying that maybe we'll also do it for Q and Enoki, which two characters I really like. But they're probably fine, or they're we kind of like them how they are currently. But a lot of people think that they still need to be changed, then they'll change it. However, I did hear a lot of people with the whole change to the hit stop thing. Apparently, if you do change it, it does make playing both of them way better, supposedly. So maybe they don't need anything, right? Because I did hear a lot of people say that Enoki's really good now to play, and also she's really good as a DPS regardless. So I think that's really interesting to think about. So maybe they're fine. And yeah, they're also going to enhance melee characters, which I think is good. Because there's ranged characters and there's melee characters. And then melee characters technically have a disadvantage because they have to be up close. And then such as enemy attention when receiving attacks, that's definitely an issue sometimes, especially if there's an AoE tech that you maybe don't notice because there's so many enemies in front of you. Then you might accidentally get hit by one of them because they do an AoE move, right? But this is pretty cool. Basically, all melee. Let's see. They made two following adjustments to strengthen some melee characters. So Semba consumption of deflect counterattacks will be reduced from 500 to 250, which is very cool. So basically, you have more stamina left over after your counterattack. And you're able to execute evasions after performing secondary attacks to cancel them out. Though they didn't mention this, right? But at the same time, they did kind of say the same thing for up here for Yo and Miu. But I think the difference was that Yo and Miu have frames where they can basically do not be touched, is what I'm basically understanding here. But then over here, they're just saying that for melee characters specifically, all of them will also just have the ability to cancel out of their secondary attacks. But just like anybody who's not Yo and Miu won't have these extra frames of invincibility is what I'm understanding here. But I think that's fair. So basically just making it to where melee characters are going to be more fun to play and not get screwed over as easily with the whole stamina thing, right? And then expect changes for version 1.0.10 update. Up next, we'll be introducing update content expected to be implemented together in next week's update. So everything down here is going to be coming in next week. Okay. So, tension cards. Mixed feelings about tension cards. I kind of like them, but at the same time, there's definitely a lot of issues that kind of come with them. So basically, they're going to be changing them. They're going to be giving them these tension cards a rework. So what they're saying basically is that the usage of tension cards that can activate their effects at tension 0 have thus become more common, and this has limited the combination of tension cards, because I think they're basically saying that most people are just using the ones that are 0 because you can get those off right away, whereas the ones that are 1 or EX are a lot more annoying to get to. So then given this, the team has upgraded most tension cards by removing the tension consumption in the upcoming update, which is very cool. So basically, what I'm understanding is that they will just work like as passives, but they won't consume the tension gauge. Is what I'm understanding here. Basically, is what they're saying. However, they did mention though that some will still have their tension gauge, so some of them will still have it, but other ones won't have it anymore, which is pretty cool. So some parameters can be greatly enhanced as a result of this change, and the team anticipates that certain builds will reduce the difficulty by completing challenges. So they're basically saying that some that were more annoying to get off because of the tension gauge are going to be way easier to do now because of the fact that there's no more tension gauge that they're going to consume. So with upcoming Chapter 3, the team will raise the difficulty of future battles slightly compared to our initial expectations, and cards with lower usage rate will be further buffed. So basically we're getting more buffs as well, which I think is pretty cool. As to which ones, I'm not too sure. For the same update, when engaging in encounters where the enemy has detected the player, regular enemy encounter, the team is making adjustments to encounters so that players can start at tension phase 2, which is pretty cool. So I'm guessing they're basically saying like, if there's like the 5-level discrepancy or whatever, so it's like maybe the enemy's like level 25, but maybe you're like level 30 or something, then I think the idea is that, or maybe like a little bit closer to that, but you're still like a bit stronger than them, then you'll probably start off with tension phase 2 instead of them, right? Because you're still technically stronger than them, but you can't like auto clear them, right? So I'm assuming that's maybe what they're saying here. That's all really cool though, you know? New system for tension cards, counter getting buffed basically, so very cool stuff there. And then retry function with lower difficulty. So from what I read from this one, basically that let's see, so to allow players to have a better experience, the team has added the option for players to be able to restart with lower difficulty after being wiped. So basically, after you die, you can restart the battle, but you'll be stronger, and the enemy will be weaker, so you can kind of clear it. And then you can kind of repeatedly do that for the most part, from my understanding. But I think it also depends, though, because there's some things that they don't allow that for, and they're, you know, you can only do for some stuff. But it's still kind of nice, you know, if you do need that little bit of crutch or whatever. Also, dailies are going to be changed now, and the same thing with deliveries. Now you won't have to go to you won't have to see the branch manager anymore. Basically, you can just, you know, go on your phone real quick, and then, alright, do it from there, and you're done, you know? Like most other, well, not most other Gachagames, some Gachagames, right? Because most of them still have you go to, like, specific people to do them. But then in some, you can just do it from your menu. Here, they're basically saying, yeah, you can just do it from your menu, you're fine. So reintroduction of the fast forward feature. So, the skip button is coming back, guys. So anybody who doesn't like the story, doesn't really care about the story, or is trying to rush, you know, maybe you guys just started, there you go. You have the skip button back. You can now skip to your heart's content. Also, they're going to be adding a way to see the story. So if you maybe were interested in the story, or maybe there was a point where you had to kind of skip a bit more, you could later come back to it later and see what that was all about, basically. So that's very cool. I love that. And then also mobile's getting 60 FPS, which I think is pretty cool. So, you know, very nice. And then XP. So this is what we just got tonight. So a lot of people are able to already do this. I am not, because I'm still not at Chapter 2 yet, sadly, but hopefully soon. And then yeah, basically, let's see, so to that end, we have developed this game aspect to allow for casual gameplay when players are looking for a break from battle and exploring, as opposed to intensive and ruthless competitive mode. So basically, just like a fun baseball kind of match, basically, where you just fight against other players and just have a good time, basically. Which I think is pretty cool. Offers more combat, but like in a different way, right? Because XP is not the same with combat as like regular combat in this game. But PvP matches are not like matches against the numbers, where you have to make corrections through debate and stuff. A player's performance will instead be reflected in how they've enhanced their teams and decisions rooted in baseball. As this is a playstyle focused on characters, on using characters players have trained, we hope this opportunity for players to enjoy showing off their statuses to each other. One thing to keep in mind though is that at the start of a ranked match season, players will start at the same rank. This means that there's a small chance that players may be put in a series of intense matches where there's a sizable enchantment gap. Because yeah, we're just starting the new season, and at the beginning of every new season, basically all the people that have especially the whales that have like really decked out accounts of people that grind the game like crazy, are probably gonna kick your ass if you just barely finish Chapter 2, right? That's what they're basically saying. So there is that too, because you know, if you have your characters leveled up, or so if some of their skills aren't leveled up as high as other characters or other players, then they're gonna basically outclass you in terms of their levels, which kind of sucks, but it is what it is, right? As you play more, you'll be able to catch up, right? And then yeah, they also confirmed Kazuki Ayoma is coming out next. He is going to be the next character that we're gonna be getting, and I think he might be coming out next week because they didn't mention basically everything down here is going to be coming out next week supposedly. So I think we're getting Kazuki Ayoma next week. If he's not coming out next week, he'll probably come out when Semba leaves. So one of the two, right? Yeah, he's coming out, which is pretty cool. So basically, going over him, what he does. Basically, he grants party member shields. He basically gets shields, as in the shield basically reduces the damage taken, which honestly, at first I thought wasn't that significant, but it does feel somewhat significant. So that's pretty cool. Basically, a damage reduction shield. And then he can launch additional attacks, and he has a high break ability. So his main role is supporting by giving damage reduction and then breaking the enemy as soon as possible, because his main focus is for breaking and also doing some decent support as well, right? So additionally, compared to Kazuki's various abilities, this character features incredibly simple mechanics, making it easy to operate. Yeah, it's pretty simple, basically. Basically, you just spam the blue bar. Once your blue bar is gone, you do your ultimate, and then you get your blue bar filled back up again, and then you just rinse and repeat, basically, right? And then maybe every now and then you have to replace your shield with Q. So at the beginning of battle, the memory will be at full capacity, and yeah, basically going over what I just said. And then this means that when he runs low on energy, which is the blue bar meter, then T kind of like decreases his strength by quite a bit because he can't really do too much after that. He says normal attack. So a certain amount of memory can be recovered when you do the ultimate. However, they didn't mention though, if you don't use the blue gauge, right, and then you do the ultimate, he goes into overclock state where he gets an attack boost basically, which is pretty cool. And then now he's more of a DPS rather than a breaker, which I think is pretty cool. So you can basically have him either be DPS or breaker, or however you want to go with him though. However, they did mention though that he's more of like he's not going to be that good in long. I forgot where, but pretty sure they mentioned it somewhere where he's not really that great in long form content. Yeah, here it is. This means he could run low on energy during a long fight, making it difficult to utilize his strength. To be honest, I haven't really seen that as too much of an issue when fighting multiple enemies. Like, it has been a bit of an issue, but at the same time, the ultimate, you get it kind of quickly, so it's not too bad. In my opinion, at least it's not too bad. However, one thing that's really cool though is that they just did mention though, after, because you can play him as a guest in Chapter 2, right? So they did mention that the character has undergone minor buffs and adjustments to how he handles and overall fight tuning. So basically they're saying that we're giving him a bit of a buff. As to what that buff will be, we'll have to wait and see. Maybe more damage, maybe the shield will be able to reduce more damage, we'll have to wait and see. But basically he's getting a buff, which is pretty nice. Not a big one though, a small one, so don't expect anything too crazy. But overall, I think that's still very cool to make him a lot better. Because I heard some people complaining that he's really not that great, and people were kind of thinking of skipping him. I think he's still worth it personally, unless you have Q. If you have Q, then I don't think he's worth pulling for, because they kind of do the same job, but Q is more DPS orientated, whereas Ayoma here is more about providing the shield or damage reduction, but also being a pretty good breaker, right? But he can also be DPS, right, if you do the overclock thing. Also, we're getting a new event, which is pretty cool. I was a little worried, some people were kind of worried, and I was a little worried too, like, are we going to get events in this game? And yes, we are. It looks like we are going to be getting events. So they did mention basically that events in this game are going to be more like mini games. So I'm assuming there might not be too many combat related ones, so it's probably just going to be like they said, mini games, right? We'll do the random stuff here, like with Semba here. Apparently with the Semba one, it's going to be like a rhythm game where we use Semba, and then I'm assuming it's going to lead to where we damage the enemy by doing a rhythm game here, which I think is pretty cool. One thing that also is very nice is that the rainbow boosters. This might be like a bit of a PSA. You may want to save a good amount of your boosters for next week, because you can use all these events, and these events are basically going to work similarly as rifts with boosters, basically, so you can get extra resources while you're doing these events through those. As for whether it will be better or not, it should theoretically be better than just going into the rifts, right? Because usually events are supposed to be like where you get more resources that are a bit boosted than the normal grindable content. So theoretically we should be seeing more, but they didn't really mention it. But they did mention that we can just obtain more materials like if it was a rift, right? Which I think is cool regardless. Also, to do this new event, you will have to clear Chapter 2 as well, so a lot of things are getting gatekeeped by Chapter 2, but I think that's fine. Besides, the story's really good anyway, so you might as well get through all of it. But yeah, so I think that's pretty cool. And the final thoughts here, they're basically just hearing a lot of feedback from players, which we have seen. They've listened to our feedback, they've made changes towards it, they've been doing a really good job at that. And then let's see. So all gone over basically. Several errors have yet to be adjusted to their finest, particularly synchro. Our setup for rewards can be taken through the game as well as tension cards. We realize that this may result in a gameplay experience that does not fully raise the players' expectations. The team will be focused on making efforts quickly. We hope to players look forward to Chapter 3 update as we prepare several other updates in parallel. So, very cool stuff. The only thing I'm not too sure is that if Chapter 3 is next week, I don't think it is. I'm pretty sure what they're just saying is that everything is like all this stuff here, like all the Ayoma's coming out next week, the new events coming out next week, and then XP's already here, and then also the new changes with the tension cards and all that is coming out next week, and then also the stamina changes right for melee characters coming out next week. But I think they're basically saying that that's coming out next week. But Chapter 3, we're still working on Chapter 3, so we'll let you know. As we get closer to Chapter 3, when it'll come out and what's going to come more in Chapter 3, which honestly I'm excited. Also, it'll be really interesting to see how big the major updates are going to be, right? Is it just going to be like a new city with new challenges and some, new story, and of course the new banner? Or is there going to be like other really cool new things, maybe new game modes or new features? Because I think that would be really cool if they did that, right? That would genuinely make the game really fun, right? Like, oh, what new cool feature are we going to get with the next region, right? Or with the next city? So I think that's pretty cool. But yeah, with that being said, I am literally dying on my nose, guys. I'm sorry. I am dying. But yeah, with that being said though, let me know if you guys are going to pull for Kazuki Ayoma. I probably will, because I have not gotten a queue. I've not gotten a queue. But yeah, other than that, I'll see y'all later. So, go over your guys' summons, and yeah, have more fun with Tribe 9, and have fun with those XP matches, right? You just gotta play 15 matches and get like, what, two single summons. Yeah, that's still pretty good. With that being said, I'm heading on out, guys. Peace, and take care, everybody.